Hi there, welcome back to Torment, Tides of Numenera, and to the Fifth Eye, where we are talking to this strange man, Sir Arthour. What a name. Of course, we don't know that he's called Sir Arthour, but this man has leathered, dark brown skin and hair as white as the full moon. He peers at you from beneath long strips of eyebrows, sucking on a long pipe that has been made from either segmented wood or the leg of an enormous insect. His clothing is blue and formal, like a priest or a professor of some kind. All over him, on his belt, in every pocket, on both shoulders, even hovering in the air around his head, are glowing, chittering devices of all kinds. Let me guess, he sucks from his pipe. A ball of green steam floats away from his mouth. You are a traveller, that much is clear. An explorer, yet you have the look of a farmer visiting a teeming metropolis for the first time. He taps various relics on his person. Never seen the like, have you? Fortunately for you, I adore educating folks on the subject of the Numenera. I've also travelled extensively and seen much of the world. Go ahead, ask me whatever you would like to know. A metallic bug-like creature perched on the side of his head begins glowing. It crawls into his ear, and he pauses as though listening. After a moment, the bug scuttles out and resumes its perch. Ooh, remember the Star Trek movies where these worms crawl in their heads? Oh my god. He leans forward and lowers his voice. So, you're a mind reader, eh? Well, I won't hold it against you, but old Arthour wouldn't walk into a bar of psychics without mental protection. So didn't expect to read much from me. How did you know I could read your thoughts? Naman told me. He points at the bug now burying itself in his shock of white hair. He can detect that sort of thing, and then this one blocks it. He pulls a circular device from his pocket. I don't like letting people know what I'm thinking. Too dangerous. He puts the device back into his vest. That's the new disc, of course. My first psychic blocker used to melt brain matter. Provoked people to no end, especially those who didn't know their friends were psychic. Oh my god. Oh god. Who are you? You sound ridiculous. Goodness, forgive me. He stretches out his hand. Sir Arthour Torment, traveller, explorer, and lifelong student of the Numenera. I've seen everything between here and the Steadfast, and I have studied Numenera of all kinds for decades. There's no man more knowledgeable about the Ninth World than he who sits before you, I assure you. Why are you here, Sir Arthour? Knowledge, of course. I have travelled all over the Steadfast and the beyond, but I had to know what was beyond the beyond. Who knows how much time I have left on this world? I wanted to see it for myself. And why are you here in this tavern? Libations, he lifts his glass enthusiastically. I'm trying to determine the nature of these fantastic liquids. Also, the people here are quite informative. No better place to learn about a city than its taverns. He takes a steep swig from his glass. And yeah, that you mentioned you know something about the Numenera. We are also interested in that. We want to know everything because we're explorers too, as you've already seen. What are the Numenera? His eyes light up, as too do a number of devices on his person, though you cannot see why. The Numenera are practically everything around you. We live among the detritus of uncountable civilizations, many of which were more powerful than you or even I can imagine. Everything they left us is the Numenera. Weapons, power sources, medicines, gels, plants, animals. Why, even the very grit in the ground and shins in your pocket are examples of Numenera. It's such a broad term that the Order of Truth has categorized the Numenera with terms like oddities, ciphers, and artifacts. Of course, any true student of the Numenera considers these categories too broad still. I have my own distinctions, but that is neither here nor there. He takes a puff from his pipe. In any case, it is the Numenera that power the wonders of the world, from an explorer's esoteries to the data sphere to the drinks in this very tavern. And what is the difference between these oddities, ciphers, and artifacts? He takes a long puff on his pipe before answering. Now, for the most part, he says, those terms refer to how useful a device is. It makes sense. As wonderful and powerful as the relics of the past are, nobody in this world gives a damn unless it can fix their problems. Besides, they don't care how it works or where it came from, eh? But if they can use it to feed themselves, fight off an Erinth Grask, or at least get them a few extra shins, now they are interested. Shows you the back of his fist and sticks out a thumb. Oddities are the least useful. They do something all right. Heat your drink, float in the air, make everything you say sound like music, whatever, but it's rarely something anyone can get utility out of. Oddities are fascinating, but pragmatically, they are only worth a few shins. Sticks his pointer finger in the air next to his thumb. Ciphers now. Those might do anything. Heal your body, shoot a blast of flame, teleport you somewhere safe, and so on. But they are volatile. Whatever they do, they'll do it just once. And if you don't know what you're doing, putting too many together can give you what's called cipher sickness. He puts up a third finger. Artifacts won't do that. That term belongs to devices that last. Maybe not forever, but more than a one-shot. Oh man, there's so much to know, thank you, Arthour. What's cipher sickness? Terrible, just terrible. He sets his pipe down. Ciphers are volatile devices, as I told you. If you know what you're doing, you can separate, insulate, quarantine, thus carrying more ciphers than your average explorer without ill effects. Something on his person starts chirping. He taps his pocket to stop it, but otherwise pays it no mind. But if you carry more than you can handle, those ciphers react in unpredictable ways, draining your energy, wearing you down, or worse. He leans forward conspiratorially. This one time I saw a cluster of ciphers bond to each other and gain what I can only describe as sentience. Ripped my assistant to pieces before tearing off into the cold desert. Haven't seen it since. He picks up his pipe and sticks it back in his mouth. It was completely unexpected. I felt bad about that assistance, but well, science and all that. He shrugs. Yeah, we have suffered for science too. Oh, yeah. Arthour, fortunately, most effects of cipher sickness are temporary, easily cured by simply getting rid of some ciphers. And how would you categorize the Numenera? Ah, a fascinating question. He sets down his drink and leans forward. I'll give you the brief version, because you obviously have places to be, but simply, I'm less interested in how useful a device is than its means of function. He takes a quick puff from his pipe and sets that down as well. Now the technology of the prior worlds is far too incomprehensible and varied for us, but to truly understand which civilizations created what. But we can define some basic categories. Counts each one on his fingers. Many devices deal with fundamental forces: gravity, magnetism, sound, light, even time itself. Automatons and created intelligences fall under artificial life. Biotechnology covers a wide variety of Numenera. Many plants and animals that we consider natural were in fact created by prior worlds for some arcane purpose. The bloom might fall under this category. Someday I'll hire a team to find out, if I can find anyone reckless enough. Oh ho. This Arthour, he's giving us headaches. Brain is melting. There are chemical devices as well as those dealing in various forms of matter, metals, liquids, crystals, and conversions between the three. His eyes light up. The most interesting are also the most esoteric: nanotechnology, which covers much of what common folk consider magic, transdimensional tech, and technology related to the data sphere itself. He leans back, reinserting his pipe. But these are just the classifications I prefer. The Numenera defy definition. Oh. And what is the data sphere? It's difficult to say exactly. At a most basic level, the data sphere is information stored within the air itself, but it's much, much more than that. Several of the prior worlds created similar spheres of knowledge around or throughout the world. Our term data sphere encompasses all of them, the connections between them, and the effects thereof. For example, in If the Knotted Finger, people talk about glimmers, visions from another place of time. These are actually some portion of the datasphere accessing human minds. Some ciphers, even some nanos, can access arcane knowledge from the datasphere. Why even so-called telepathy? Sometimes two people communicating through the datasphere without realizing it. The datasphere as a subject of research is far too large for several lifetimes, alas I have only been able to spend my time delving into devices that seem to use it, but not the datasphere itself, or rather the various and incompatible networks that comprise the datasphere. Perhaps one day. Christique had been leaning in, listening intently, and leans back with disappointment etched across her features. It's a worthy field of study. I had hoped that we might share our knowledge. Perhaps when you've acquired several lifetimes, as I have, we'll speak further on the subject. Oh, thank you. Thank you, but no. We won't become the cruel old man here. What are esoteries in your speech? Esotery is the common name for any of various power or abilities that cannot be explained by our standing of science. Nanos are capable of esoteries more than most, but other people and even creatures sometimes exhibit powers that we would call esoteries as well. We have just already told about so much. What are shins exactly? Appears that you over his glasses. You are new, aren't you? Shins are currency. We knew that. The Aeon priests believe that some very ancient prior worlds use specific metals or crystals as currency per their rarity. But of course, no metal is truly rare anymore. Half the nanos I've met can transmute metal into crystal. Why? I once transmuted flesh into gold, though not entirely on purpose. Anyway, rarity is useless as a means of value, so the value of shins isn't necessarily a social construct. Shins. Shins can be any coin-like object or jagged bit of interesting material, though I think you'll find there is remarkable agreement as to what does and what does not constitute a true shin. Many realms in the Steadfast actually mint their own money, but you'd be hard-pressed to find a traveling merchant who didn't accept anything you had on you at the time. So that's all I wanted for now. Farewell, because this is going very long for me, and I'm really... I'm a bit flustered already. So thank you for watching and listening. We'll return soon with much more to talk about with Sir Arthour. That's all we wanted to know for now. And farewell. Have a good time and happy gaming to all of you.